The year 1998, there she was, Miss Maryland, Heather Davis, performing a beautiful classical piece on the piano during the Miss America competition. Now, that was then, and this is now. 16 years later, she's now Mrs. Heather Davis Epkins. She's a mom, she's a doctor of communication, professor at University of Maryland, and a business pageant coach to boot. How about that? We want to welcome you.
Thank you. And hi to my husband and two kids. Hi, Madison and Mason.
See, Miss America, Miss Maryland always remembers the kids and dad at home. Hey, you've got the crown in your hand, but I found out something that's really hard to believe. 88 years, no Miss Maryland ever winning it. Do we have a chance with our current Miss Maryland?
You know what, Tony? This year we do. So our current Miss Maryland's name is Jade Kenny, and not only has she won the second runner-up to an award called the Quality of Life Award, which is an award that awards really your heart and your community service, and I'm the only Miss Maryland to actually ever have won that award.
Really?
But it's a big deal. She's also placed as a preliminary swimsuit winner, so that almost guarantees her a spot in the top 10. So she's a strong contender, and she has a great platform issue called Rainbows organization, and because she lost her best friend at 13 and her grandparents very young, her heart wants to help other young children with grief and coping with death.
Well, you know, we always hear the stereotypical, it's a beauty contest, it's all about how they look in their swimsuits, but Miss America different. As a matter of fact, scholarships was important to you and to contestants now. Tell us about that part of the program.
So the Miss America organization is distinct for many reasons, and the number one reason is it's the largest scholarship provider for women in the world. It offers over $40 million in scholarship money to women. And tomorrow night they will award almost $400,000 in scholarship money. It also has a talent competition and a community service piece to it as well. And then also it's kind of perceived as more of the wholesome pageant, the family pageant, if you will. Miss Maryland that crowned me, Jamie Foxx, was actually your first Miss Maryland to be on stage in a bikini. Wow. So in 1997, that was the first year they even allowed us to wear bikinis. So it's kind of more perceived as a family pageant.
And you know, we know that you're a PhD in communications, but it's no secret that you think communications is the make or break if you're going to become Miss America. Tell us about the hints you give the contestants you still coach in your business. Tell us, what are some of those tips?
I do. So, Tony, you really win or lose Miss America in the interview competition. And so if you can properly analyze your audience, which I also teach as a PhD visiting professor at University of Maryland, along with you, if you can listen with your eyes, which is, you know, nonverbal communication is very important, and any Miss needs to be able to walk into a situation and properly analyze that situation to assess how to, you know, talk about what you're going to talk about. Sorry, and I have a book here that I wrote about all the previous Miss Marylands. And then the third piece is to talk about your agenda points. So really, if you walk into an interview already knowing what you want to share, you can walk out knowing that you've succeeded in that interview and feel like you've put your best face forward. And so if you don't win, you know what, it just wasn't my look or, you know, my time that year, but I've done my best in my interview.
Now we see the book you have. How is that compiled?
I'm sorry, I didn't know that we weren't on. So 1459, your 15 minutes of fame is almost up. All right, so this is about all the Miss Maryland since the beginning, since 1921 when Miss America first started. And actually our first Miss America was Miss DC. So we had a local winner that first year. And Miss Marylands have been making history for years now. I mean, we have a lot of top fives, some first runner-ups.
I think the mood is right, the feel is right, and we'll go on record saying that Heather's going to predict a win. Well, you're not going to go that far, but you think we have a good shot.
I think Jade has a great shot. So watch it tomorrow night and root for our Miss Maryland.
Tomorrow night, yep, indeed. We'll see how Miss Maryland does. And you still haven't lost the touch. Back in '98, I was a rookie reporter, and I interviewed her as Miss Maryland. Wow, I haven't aged either.